Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hunter Call of the Wild. And not only Call of the Wild, but today we are going over the Grelck Drilling Rifle. Now, before I get into this, it should be known that a lot of this is based off my opinions, and my opinions are based off my experience in the game. I am not the best player in the game, and if somebody claims that they are, I suggest you watch them and see their information that they're giving. Anyway, the first thing that I'm going over here with this gun, because it is a very, very dynamic gun. Starting off pretty simple, recoil and accuracy. The drilling rifle is very interesting. It has essentially three barrels. You have two shotgun barrels and then one rifle, 9.3 by 74. And this allows it to have more weight, which in turn makes less recoil. Also, it should be noted that the accuracy of the 9.3 is limited to only 150 meters, but it is possible to very easily push that out to 250, even 300 at times. I've been known to do it, and it still has effective penetration at those ranges. Speaking of power and penetration, the 9.3 is plenty capable of taking down large game such as grizzly bear, brown bear, moose, even bison. So don't be afraid to take the 9.3 and get out there and slay some big animals, because it is a very, very effective round. But there is something a little more special about the Grelck Drilling Rifle that really resonates with me and some of the other people that use it, and that's its a range of animals. This gun is capable of killing, with the 9.3, anywhere from 5 to 9 class of animals. So you're talking things like wolves all the way to Cape Buffalo. And it does so moderately well when you get up to Cape Buffalo. But also, with the added 2 barrels underneath, we get an option to add 16 gauge shot as well. So with that, we can add Birdshot, and we can collectively get things like geese, ducks, and rabbits. And by switching out our Birdshot with Buckshot, we're then capable of getting classes 2 to 4 range of animals. So that's going to cover things like your red fox, your musk deer, your whitetail, your blacktail, things like that. This is a very effective round, and it's something that the footage isn't going to line up, because there seems to be a bug right now with Call of the Wild, go figure, that it seems to be that the 16 gauge either isn't penetrating enough, or when it does, it's not registering as a vital hit. I don't think that's the case with any shotgun rounds at this very time. I do hope that that gets fixed, because I am one of the only people you'll find using shotguns pretty commonly. It should also be noted that when using the shotgun capabilities of this gun, along with any double barrel shotgun, your follow-up shot can be very, very fast and effective. Also, if you happen to go into your shotgun perks and pick the right perk, you can be shooting both barrels at once. A very effective strategy if you want to get the most amount of pellets on target as possible, increasing your hit probability and ending the life of whatever animal you happen to be shooting. So, moving on from Buckshot, what we then get is the 16 gauge slug. And much like the 20 gauge slug, its classes are the same, and those classes range from 4 to 7. Whereas the 12 gauge slug ranges from 4 to 8. But with the added 9.3 capabilities of the drilling rifle, we don't really need to worry about that. We can just hold R, switch our barrel, and take out whatever we need to. Now, for the slug is pretty impressive. I'd say that it keeps up with the 12 gauge pretty well, even though the 12 gauge is one class above. Now, focusing a little bit more on the 16 gauge slug and focusing on slugs in shotguns as a whole, there is some discrepancies between 20 and 12 gauge and 16 gauge, and it's pretty simple if you've looked at all the slugs in each weapon, and that is the fact that in the 12 gauge pump and the 12 gauge over and under, you get 150 meters capability with a range, and in the semi-automatic 20 gauge you also get that same 150 meters of range using the range scale. But switching to the drilling gun and switching to a 16 gauge slug, we notice that we only get up to a 75 meter range. And I think that's sort of balanced. And the reason why I think it's balanced is because if you use the scope with the other shotguns, with both the over and under 12 gauge, the pump action 12 gauge, and the semi-automatic 20 gauge, if you add the scope, you actually get a lower powered scope than what's on the drilling gun. So effectively, you have more zoom with the 16 gauge slug being a lower range slug than the 12 gauge and 20 gauge. A very interesting thing and something it might fascinate some of you. I'm not sure if it's any more effective, but it is something that I've always found intriguing how that worked. Maybe the 16 gauge should be a 150 range? Maybe? Let me know. Anyway, I think that's about going to wrap up the drilling gun. It's a very fascinating gun. If anybody knows anything more interesting about it or have made some miraculous shots, please let me know. At the time you're seeing this, I'm probably streaming over on Twitch, so you guys can head over there. It's twitch.tv/Vector05. And yeah, the drilling gun. It's fascinating. Bye-bye.